Winter storm warning goes into effect at 4 o'clock. Some light precipitation this evening. I'll show you when it picks up in intensity and how much you can see.
And preparing for snow, crews will be out on the roads ahead of that winter storm moving in tonight. The NCDOT progress update that we're expecting this morning. And crews feeling fatigue. A second weekend of winter weather means no days off for some crews. How the repeat work days are impacting those workers. WRAL News at 8 starts in less than 30 seconds.
At Leith Honda in Raleigh and Auto Park Honda in Cary, we make your buying process easy. And with every new car purchase, you'll enjoy complimentary oil changes and exceptional service. It's no wonder we've earned so many 5-star reviews. You'll also get peace of mind pricing with every used vehicle, and if it's not the perfect fit, no problem. Bring it back within 3 days for an easy exchange. Visit our showroom at Auto Park Honda in Cary or Leith Honda in Raleigh. It's easier here.
Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your #1 source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Good morning. Great to be with you at the 8 o'clock hour here on Fox 50. Boy, we have a doozy of a forecast coming in. I'm Ken Smith.
And I'm Laura Levine. Yes, a lot to follow as we're preparing for this weekend. We do have team coverage today, but let's begin with meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner, who's tracking the latest timeline of when that snow will move in. Elizabeth.
New this morning, we went from a watch to a warning, and that warning begins at 7 o'clock this evening. Still looking at heavy snowfall totals and some dangerous wind chills. What's new this morning? We're looking at a heavy band of snow that's going to set up somewhere late on Saturday. And we'll talk about why it's tough to decide or tough to understand where that may be. Understand this is not going to be an even blanket of snow across our viewing area. We're going to see waves of snow coming through, and that means the totals will be widely different across our viewing area. Overall, expect somewhere between 3 and 6 inches. Those totals could be a little higher around Rocky Mount and Goldsboro, or they could be higher south of the Triangle. It's just a little bit tough to say. We'll talk more about why that is coming up. In the meantime, we're turning cloudy out there right now. We'll begin to see some light snow showers later on this evening, and then the snow really picks up right around and after midnight. It will total up and stick to the roads very quickly because it's been so cold. Waves of precipitation all day Saturday. That's Saturday at 10 p.m. It moves on out by Sunday morning, and we'll see sunshine, but bitterly cold, dangerous wind chills for Sunday. Yes, the roads will be a mess. We're going to see fairly deep snow on the roads. You'll maybe have to shovel around your house, and there could be some outages. We have a cold weather advisory for tomorrow. The wind chills will be in the single digits, and then we're going to bump it up a level for Sunday, an extreme cold watch, which means the wind chills will be below 0, as much as 5 below, or maybe even colder than that. Right now we're cloudy, waiting for that storm to start. 24 degrees. Right now we have a northeast wind at 10, so the wind's starting to pick up, so the wind chills already beginning to drop some. It feels like 12 in Fayetteville, 14 in Durham and Raleigh, 13 in Rocky Mount, and 12 in Roxborough. So we are just in for a cold winter storm. This afternoon, our highs only make it into the upper 30s. I'm going to walk you through the timeline for some of those wind chills over the weekend. Coming up, Ken.
Elizabeth, we're staying on top of that troubled spot on I-40 westbound coming in from the Garner-Johnston County area. They were finally able to right that box truck that was on its side, but you got one lane closed right there between Highway 36 and the Beltline this morning. A lot of it is onlooker delay, to be quite honest. So you can see the red on the map showing up the huge delays it's causing there in I-40 westbound. I would recommend Benson Road, Highway 50, even that's getting a little jammed up a little bit, or even Highway 70. There's a couple of alternate routes, and you live in that area. You know other alternate routes that could help you avoid I-40 westbound this morning. But once you get up to the Jones Sausage Road area, things are flowing along at a nice steady clip. These are the westbound lanes coming toward us this morning. So if you're in a rush, you might want to take those alternate routes that we just mentioned. But as we widen out the view, we were seeing a little bit of a slowdown on I-540 in the eastbound lanes around the Leesville Road exit. There was a crash there earlier, but that has since cleared. But everything else, relatively speaking, flowing nicely in all directions. Things are getting better on that I-40 westbound route because right now you're only looking at a 9-minute delay. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Ken, thank you. Today we will learn more about how North Carolina is getting ready for the snow this weekend. Governor Josh Stein plans to hold a news conference at 11 this morning. You can watch it on WRAL, WRAL.com, and on WRAL News Plus. Allie Katlabar is live right now at the NCDOT facility on Blue Ridge Road. And Allie, we know that the main concern here this time around is the snow.
And Laura, that means we're going to see those plow trucks on the road as soon as tonight. Brine trucks will finish their treatment on the roads sometime today. Once the snow starts accumulating overnight, plow trucks will then be sent out. Governor Josh Stein issued another state of emergency yesterday ahead of this weekend storm. He says the DOT's efforts will look similar to last week, but snow will be easier to move off the roads. They're going to start clearing the interstates first, then major state roads, then secondary roads. Stein is asking people to be patient and stay home if possible.
These guys are going to have to still work hard to clear the roads. It's going to be coming. It's going to be windy. They're going to be out there plowing. And for them, it's going to be very much the same.
If you do have to get out on the roads, take it slow and give crews extra space. We're expecting to hear an update from NCDOT around 10 this morning. We're expecting to hear from Governor Josh Stein at 11. You can check back with WRAL for those updates. Reporting live in Raleigh, Allie Cadlebar, WRAL News.
This is the second weekend in a row with winter weather, leading to some essential workers possibly feeling a little burnt out. WRAL's Grace Haber live in Raleigh this morning. And Grace, it's a really long stretch for crews working to keep all of us safe.
Ken, these crews say that times like this are like their Super Bowl, but they are ready, as you mentioned, a second weekend in a row for a lot of them. But as Allie mentioned, the hope this time around is that since they're dealing with snow instead of ice, hopefully that means the load this weekend will be a little lighter in terms of getting the roads clear. Looking down onto I-40 this morning, we have seen those signature white lines, a sign that crews have been out here early this morning preparing for that incoming weather. And with back-to-back weekends of snow, many Wake County municipalities like Garner and Zebulon will have a lot of those same people back out again working this storm. And officials say, thankfully, crews were able to take a little bit of time off in the middle of this week to rest up before another busy weekend ahead.
As hard as you can, but when you have those moments to slow down, make certain you're slowing down and looking after your folks.
And something that officials say everyone at home can do to help the crews that are going to be out here this weekend is to stay off of these roads, stay home. We say it time and time again. It really does make a difference for those crews and all of the responders that will be out here during this winter storm. Reporting live in Wake County, Grace Haber, WRAL News.
Grace, thank you. So ahead of this morning's press conference with Governor Josh Stein, we are now getting a firsthand account of how the DOT is preparing. Kim Diener is joining us now live from North Carolina DOT. And Kim, thanks so much for being here with us this morning and continuing your work throughout the past couple of days here. So tell us, how many crews are out preparing the roads for this weekend?
Well, we have 135 trucks that are NCDOT, and we have about 155 contractors out on the roads. So we have it covered. We had that much to put the brine down before the last storm. And already as of this morning, we've put 225,000 gallons of brine down, and we're not finished. We'll still continue to brine throughout the day today.
How does the preparation look for this weekend compared to last? You know, last weekend we were dealing with more of the ice accumulation. This weekend is literally snow.
The preparation is somewhat similar. Last weekend we were worried about power going out. So we had crews set up, waiting and ready to take, cut up trees, push them off to the side of the road. Well, we're not so worried about ice bringing power lines down, but I know Elizabeth has mentioned the fact that we're going to see some pretty strong winds. So we're going to set those crews out. They're going to be ready to cut down trees. If trees come down and power comes down, obviously we work with our utility partners, and we're really preparing for the worst. We're going to throw every tool we have in the toolbox at the storm. And even though it is going to be easier to get off the roads than the last storm, because this will be a light, fluffy snow, the more we get, the longer it's going to take. So if we could get 3 to 6 inches, it will probably go much faster than it did last time. But if we see those higher totals, like 8 to 10 or higher, those higher totals is going to be another marathon cleanup.
Yes, absolutely. So a few minutes ago, you had mentioned a little bit about staffing. We know that, again, this is 2 weekends in a row now that crews will be really out working around the clock. How do you address burnout during the winter months like this, where crews are constantly working in these long hours?
Well, we gave crews a chance to break, between this storm and the last storm. They got to go home, spend some time with their families, prepare for this storm, and giving them adequate time to rest during this next event is going to be very important. So we're going to make sure that they have time to pull off, go to a place where it's warm, rest, maybe sleep a little bit, and then hit the roads again. So we are definitely prioritizing our crews getting what they need as they once again hit the roads to keep the roads clean and protect folks before they hit the roads.
Very important. Well, Kim, thank you so much for joining us here on WRAL News this morning.
Thank you. You guys stay safe.
You too.
Well, Laura, this morning in the WRAL Live Center, we're getting a look at how RDU is preparing for the incoming winter storm. In fact, they shared this photo on X showing the runway there being cleared away of any ice or lingering snow from last weekend. They had the caption along with it saying, quote, "We are rested, recharged, and ready for more snow." They say to keep an eye on potential winter weather this weekend. Team RDU is keeping the runways and other surfaces clean during bad weather. And if you hang out with us to our 9 o'clock show here on WRAL News and Fox 50, we'll have a live interview with RDU coming up in just a bit.
All right, you can count on WRAL to bring you updates on the forecast and preparations. Stay connected with us on television, online, of course, with the WRAL News app anytime. Make sure you have notifications turned on to receive alerts directly to your phone. Right now it's 8/11. Small business struggles. We're about to have a second weekend of winter weather. How the shopping slowdowns are affecting local stores.
Plus, indoor events. There are still some things to do tonight ahead of the snow. You're out and about. Best bets just ahead.
And it's not just the snow, it's the wind chill as well. Dangerous for Sunday. Wind chills could be down into the single digits or even minus numbers. I'll show you what's coming this weekend. 8:14 and new this morning. Our watch went to a winter storm warning. It goes into effect at 7 o'clock. We're still on track to have heavy snow across our area starting tonight all the way through Sunday morning. And the wind chill is going to be a big deal for us. We take a look at our snow forecast map. Totals are still the same as yesterday, looking at widespread 3 to 6 inches. But there is likely to be a band of heavier precipitation that sets up somewhere. It could be, say, in our eastern counties. It could be in our southern counties. Honestly, it could be anywhere. This is not going to be just an even blanket of snow that develops across our area. It will come in bands, and that means that we'll see widespread ranging totals. 24 in Durham and Raleigh. It's 20 in Fayetteville. We're cloudy ahead of the storm. Our temperatures right now are mainly in the low to mid 20s and will only climb into the mid 30s for highs this afternoon, Ken.
All right, Elizabeth, we're staying on top of that situation there in the I-40 westbound coming in from Garner-Johnston County. They finally were able to get that box truck righted. Right now, you see traffic has picked up quite a bit there in the I-40 westbound area coming in from the Garner-Johnston County area. So if you're in a rush this morning, you might want to take Business 50 or Highway 50, so to speak, or Highway 70 as alternate routes. I'll keep you posted here in the WRAL Traffic Center.
Ken, thank you. A key vote to avoid a partial government shutdown was delayed last night on Capitol Hill. The Senate did not vote on a funding agreement. Funding for a large portion of the federal government is set to expire at the end of the day today. The agreement would have extended funding for most of the government through September. However, it would only fund the Department of Homeland Security for 2 weeks.
What I thought was going to happen is that the 5 of the bills of the 6 that remain in the Senate would be broken out from the Homeland bill separately, and that they would be sending us some sort of continuing resolution on the Homeland bill because there's some negotiation or discussion that would be had between the president and Democrats.
So the House is in recess until Monday, but if the measure is passed by the Senate today, it will likely be passed by the House when they return.
Well, today, President Trump naming as his pick for the next Fed chair, the president nominating former Federal Reserve official Kevin Warsh. Warsh will replace current chair Jerome Powell when his term expires in May. The appointment requires Senate confirmation, though. Warsh was a surprising choice because he typically supports high interest rates to control inflation. Lowering rates is the main difference of opinion between President Trump and the current chair, Jerome Powell. Well, business owners around the area say the 2 back-to-back winter weekends really hurting their profit margins. Weekends are the busiest time for most local businesses. Cafe Luna owner Brent Thompson says the business shut down last Saturday and will likely have to do the same tomorrow as well. The closures are especially tough on service industry employees who rely on tips to make ends meet.
especially at the end of the month. A lot of guys have rent to pay soon. A lot of guys are paying off holiday credit card debt. So I really feel for them. I've reached out to all of them these last couple days as we prepare for this weekend too, and we'll help them the best we can.
Restaurants aren't the only ones feeling the burn. Retailers say the weather has hurt its margins as well. Those business owners say you can support local by making online orders or buying gift cards.
Some indoor shows to enjoy on a frigid winter weather weekend. It's time to take a look at WRAL's Out and About Best Bets. Starting here, the world's toughest rodeo is in town tonight at Lenovo Center. There will be bull riding, barrel racing, and more fun. It was postponed last weekend, but it's on for tonight at 7:30. The gates open at 6, and ticket holders can go down onto the dirt before the show to meet the cowboys and enjoy pony rides. And opera is coming to the Martin Marietta Center. Tonight, you can see a story of passion, sacrifice, and heartbreak. Madame Butterfly follows a young geisha who gives up everything for love. The show is tonight at 7:30. For more weekend best bets, you can go to WRAL.com and search Out and About. And it's a good thing a lot of these events are happening tonight because we are monitoring that winter weather that will begin to pick up late this evening. Elizabeth, I know you're tracking all of it for us.
Yes, and you know that snow's going to stick really fast. Sometimes it takes a while because the ground's been warm. I mean, that's typically what happens, but it's been so cold over the last couple of weeks that snow is going to stick pretty quickly. A heavy band of snow is going to set up on Saturday night. The snow starts overnight tonight, early tomorrow, but we're going to see a band that rolls in, and Grant's going to talk more about the banding type precipitation that we'll see and explain that. There may be some dry pockets of air that work their way in as well. So this is not going to be an even blanket of snowfall across the area in terms of totals. We already are seeing some of that showing up on the radar up into Virginia and Kentucky. A lot of that is actually evaporating before it reaches the ground because it is very dry out there. But watching that snow starting to at least show up to our north. Widespread totals of 3 to 6 inches. That's going to be our average. And then there may be some pockets where it's heavier. Some of those pockets could be in our eastern counties or in our southern counties or right over the triangle. It's just going to be pretty much impossible to tell maybe until it's going. And so, we're going to be on TV for you all day tomorrow and into Sunday if necessary. Expect a few snow showers in our northern counties starting after sunset, and then it really fills in overnight. And all day Saturday, we're going to see waves of snow moving through. That doesn't end really probably until the wee hours of Sunday morning, and it's out of here by around 6 o'clock or so. Then we see clearing, and the cold temperatures will be the biggest thing. Let's talk about the banding precipitation and why that's going to happen for us and what it means. Grant?
Yeah, we're watching those deformation zones, and with that, it's that area of low pressure that's just offshore, downstream of the upper level low. The clouds and precip wrap around that area of low pressure. As this low gets stronger, it will get stronger over time throughout the course of the day today and into Saturday. So with that precip wrapping around, we'll start to see some of that heaviest precip right on the northwest side. As you move to the northwest, we could see some areas of lighter precip. As you've probably seen on some forecast models, with the upper level low, we could see some dry air start to work its way in as well. So a couple of different factors there to determine exactly where that band sets up, and forecast models have kind of been all over the place on exactly where that sets up, so we're going to watch that closely and we'll update our totals accordingly.
Grant and I are sitting by the computer just waiting, clicking update, waiting for those new runs of the models to come in, and we'll definitely share those with you as soon as they do. Cold weather advisory for tomorrow. Wind chill will be in the single digits. Take a look at this hour by hour wind chill. I mean, the highest it may feel all day is right around lunchtime where it feels like 10. Keep that in mind as you're sending the kids out to play in the snow tomorrow. It's going to be bitterly cold and even colder on Sunday. Those wind chill values could be as much as 5 degrees below zero. Take a look at these wind chills on Sunday morning. -6 in Fayetteville, -6 in Raleigh, -11 up in Roxborough. So that definitely gets us into the danger zone, at least for our area. Weekend system, yes, it's going to come on in here. We're going to see the precipitation developing lightly for tonight. Saturday, it'll be heavier with bands coming and going. Just make sure you've downloaded your WRAL weather app to follow along with our own forecast. Highs are only in the 20s on Saturday and Sunday, and again, it will be very windy. After that, that snow may stick around for a while because it stays chilly, Ken.
All right, Elizabeth, we're staying on top of that situation that we've been watching now, I-40 westbound coming in from Garner this morning. That situation is completely cleared right now. It's a situation that we've been following for the last couple of hours, and right now we're seeing that it's completely cleared off the area. area, so no lanes are blocked off whatsoever. Really and truly, these are the I-40 westbound lanes coming in from Garner, Johnston County. Those are the eastbound lanes moving away from us. So depending on where you're headed this morning, if you want to really in a rush this morning, you might want to take Highway 70 as an alternate route, or even Benson as an alternate route as well. But this is really indicative of what we're seeing on all of our major routes, the traffic flowing at a nice steady clip because all those roads are clear. This is a situation where once they get these roads cleared, and you'll be seeing a lot of plow and brine trucks out today, so be mindful of that if you're heading out this morning. But as always, if you're listening to us on the radio right now, we do appreciate that. If you're getting ready to head into the car, tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Ken, thank you. Your time now is 8:23. A Raleigh house fire. A firefighter was hurt while putting out the flames. The response to this abandoned home. And snow driving safety ahead. 5 on your sides. Keely Arthur shares the important things to know if you must hit the road.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. The time is 8:26. Let's get right over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner with a look at the forecast. Elizabeth, a snow weekend ahead of us.
Definitely looking that way. We did have a watch now up to a winter storm warning that was just upgraded this morning. The warning starts at about 4 o'clock this afternoon. We're going to start to see some light snow this evening, and then it's going to be heavy for us Saturday night, tapering off Sunday morning. Still looking at widespread totals at 3 to 6 inches, but there will be pockets where the snow is heavier than that. Tonight, the light snow moves in, and then it's likely to get heavy during the day Saturday, and Saturday night moves on out on Sunday. The wind is going to be an issue for us too. Wind chills will be in the single and negative digits. Ken?
Ooh. So here's a situation that's completely cleared right now. This I-40 westbound near the White Oak area in Garner. There was a box truck that was overturned, so that's completely cleared. So we're not seeing any on-local delays whatsoever. I was telling people to maybe take Benson Road or Highway 70, even though we're seeing a little bit of a slowdown, but traffic is really moving. Coming up, we'll look at some of those drive times coming into the Raleigh-Wake County area and some of our major routes.
Ken, thank you. This morning, we will get an update from NCDOT and Governor Josh Stein ahead of this weekend's storm. Stein plans to hold a news conference at 11 this morning. You can watch it live on WRAL, WRAL News Plus, and WRAL.com. Isaiah Ross was given a verdict yesterday in an Orange County double murder trial. Ross was found guilty of the second-degree murder of Devin Clark. A mistrial was declared in the case of Lyric Woods. Ross was sentenced to a maximum 25 years. And next on Fox 50, a look at the fatigue that crews are facing, bringing back-to-back weekend winter weather. Ahead on Today, Kylie Kelsey stops by Studio 1A to reveal her new Super Bowl ad.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
New this morning, our watch upgraded to a warning. I'll walk you through when we'll start to see the snow and how much you can see.
And preparing the roads for snow, teams will be out on the roadways ahead of that winter storm moving in tonight. The DOT progress update that we're expecting this morning.
Yeah, and speaking of which, winter weather fatigue. A second weekend of winter weather means little rest for some crews. How the repeat work days are affecting those workers. So glad you're with us here at 8:30. We got a lot to get you caught up on as we work to prepare for this winter storm.
Yes.
I'm Ken Smith.
And I'm Laura Levine. Yes, and you probably already have seen those signature lines on the roads as crews have been preparing now, getting ready for this weekend. So let's get right over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. And really this weekend, a lot of people, Elizabeth, just want to stay home and enjoy the weather.
Absolutely. We still have some time. I imagine the grocery stores are probably going to be mobbed this morning. You've got, all the way up until around sunset. And then you probably want to just go ahead and hunker down and just be there all the way into early next week. We're going to see gusty winds making it feel really cold. As a matter of fact, dangerously cold. And we're going to go over that. Also, a heavy band of snow is likely to set up across part of our viewing area, or not part of our viewing area, but in some part of North Carolina. Somebody's going to get some really heavy snowfall totals. We're still looking at mostly 3 to 6 inches widespread. So this is not going to be an even blanket of snow across our area. We're going to have pockets, which, usually it's the heaviest snow up north. That may not be the case this time. We can see pockets of snowfall that are over over 6 inches in any part of the viewing area. So we're going to be watching for that as we go forward. And meteorologist Grant Skinner coming up to talk more about that sort of setup. In the meantime, expect this evening that there could be a few snow flurries in the north, and then that snow will pick up in intensity, especially after midnight. The snow is likely to stick to the roads right away because it's been so cold. It's not going to take any time. So once the snow starts, the roads will get covered pretty quickly. This is 4 a.m. on Saturday. This is 10 p.m. and then it moves right on out of here by Sunday morning. Sunday's biggest issue will be the wind chill, which could be dangerous. Road trouble, absolutely. There's going to be snow covering the roads for a while. Expect the plows to be out and you have to shovel yourself, and then there'll be a few isolated outages. For tomorrow, there's a cold weather advisory. The wind chills will be in the single digits all day, and then an extreme cold watch for Sunday morning with wind chill values as low as -5. So nobody's looking forward to that. Cloudy skies right now, and the wind is starting to pick up right now. We have a northeast wind at 10 with a temperature of 24. So that means it feels like 14 in the Triangle. It feels like 12 in Fayetteville, and in Roxborough feels like 13 in Rocky Mount. So it's pretty bitter out there right now, and we'll stay just above freezing for highs later on this afternoon. Coming up, I'm going to walk you through the timeline of some of those coldest wind chills for the weekend. Okay?
All right, Elizabeth, feels like we moved up north. My goodness. Oh, my goodness. So listen, that situation I've been telling you about on I-40 near the White Oak Road exit there in Garner is completely cleared. You just have a couple of state troopers there, probably doing some last-minute paperwork, but traffic is flowing nicely coming in on I-40 westbound. Seeing a little bit of lingering delays from what happened there, but you can see it went from red to yellow, so no need for the alternate routes like Highway 50 or Highway 70 this morning, because traffic is really beginning to move nicely on I-40 out westbound. As we widen out the view, give you a look at all of other major routes, relatively little to no delays. You're coming in from Garner, Johnston County, you're just looking at a 1-minute delay. Boy, that was up to like 15 minutes about an hour and a half ago. But you're coming in from Nightdale, I-87, no delays whatsoever. Fenton, Wake Forest, just a 2-minute delay this time of the morning. What? We'll take that, right? Coming in from Wake Forest, all the other routes, I-40 eastbound, US 1 coming in from Apex, delay free. You're getting ready to head into the car, though. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Ken, thank you. Today, we will learn more about how North Carolina is getting ready for possible snow this weekend. Governor Josh Stein plans to hold a news conference at 11 this morning. You can watch it live on WRAL, WRAL News Plus, and on WRAL.com. Allie Catlabar is live from the NCDOT facility on Blue Ridge Road for us. And Allie, we just heard from a spokesperson with DOT. She's saying that they have hundreds of crews prepared for this winter weather event, and they've already made a lot of progress this morning.
And they still have some more brine trucks that are going to be out on the roads, making sure that they are all treated. But they're planning tonight to send out the snowplows as the snow is set to fall later this evening. Now, Governor Josh Stein issued another state of emergency yesterday ahead of this weekend storm. He says the efforts will look similar to last week, but snow will be easier to clear off the roads. It is expected to be windier this weekend, and so Stein is asking people who have to get out to give extra space to crews. He says once the snow falls, they will be out cleaning the roads up as soon as possible.
Well, these guys have to prioritize the interstates first, and then the major state roads second, and then they can get into the secondary roads later. So we ask people to be patient, to understand that it's better to not be on the roads if you possibly cannot be.
Now, we're going to get another full update from NCDOT at 10 a.m., so in the next hour and a half. We're also going to hear an update from Governor Josh Stein. You can check back with WRAL for those updates. Reporting live in Raleigh, Allie Cadlabar, WRAL News.
Well, all of this winter storm prep means back-to-back weekends and long shifts for a lot of the same crews. Well, let's get to WRAL's Grace Haber. She's live along I-40 this morning. And Grace, we're already seeing evidence that people are feeling a little bit tired, but they're ready for this second round.
Yeah, Ken, and we're seeing the evidence of those crews hard at work driving around Wake County this morning, just off Lake Wheeler here, Western Boulevard by the station, and down on I-40 here. We are seeing those white lines of salt, a clear sign that these crews have been out here preparing these roads once again ahead of another busy winter weekend for them. Now, many Wake County municipalities like Garner and Zebulon will have a lot of those same people back out here for this storm as they did last weekend. And this time, as crews prepare for more snow instead of ice, it's keeping them busy.
We took a brief pause for a few days, for maybe a day and a half or so, and geared back up. So where our crews are holding up pretty well. You try to make certain in these times you're doing the work that you need to do, and things that can wait, let it wait until next week.
And, one thing that officials mentioned, and something else you guys have already mentioned, the biggest thing that all of us can do to really help those crews out as this winter weather hits this weekend is to stay off of the roads, stay home, enjoy some hot cocoa, look outside and enjoy the winter weather as it falls down. But the best thing that you can do is to make it easier on the crews and first responders out here working by keeping these roads clear this weekend. Reporting live in Wake County, Grace Haba, WRAL News.
Speaking of the roads, I want to give you this live look now at Chapel Hill. That's the intersection of Franklin and Columbia there, right near UNC Chapel Hill. Of course, local officials keeping an eye on road conditions overnight and into the weekend. Orange County Sheriff Charles Blackwood joining us now. Sheriff, always great to see you, my friend. So let's talk about what your plans are this weekend as you and your staff prepare for this incoming snowstorm.
Well, thank you, and good morning to you all. It's pretty much like every other storm event that we have. We have to wait and see what the weather brings, but we are anticipating more of a snowfall than the ice, which is welcome. Certainly the ice presents a lot of problems that we can't deal with, but the snow is a little bit easier to get around in. I'm worried more about the cold temperatures that we're going to be facing than I am anything else right now, though.
I know your staff was very active on social media last week, putting out pictures of the deteriorating conditions on Orange County roads. What did you learn from last week that will help you prepare differently for this time around?
Well, again, I don't think it's anything really different than any event that we have, other than, we just have to wait and see what we're faced with. The social media attention that we got was tremendous. I know a lot of people felt like, talking about the ice on the road wasn't really something that was important. But, one of the things we've learned over the years is, if everything you have is a priority, then nothing is a priority. And we have to be flexible when these events come up and shift to what the people are interested in and what affects them during their daily lives. And at that point in time, it was ice. So that's why we felt it was important to bring that forward to them. And as I said, our social media traction went through the roof, as you well saw.
We're encouraging people to stay off the roads as possible, but, some people have to get out and work and go to certain emergency destinations. What's your message to drivers this weekend as we prepare for this snowstorm there in Orange County?
Well, when you're driving on snow, ice, or any time, you need to really be cautious of the intersections where you might have to stop. That's where the problems usually occur. Downhill curves with an outward grade where you might slide off the road one way or the other. You need to be vigilant and looking at traffic that's coming at you. A lot of times people get out of their lane and travel in the snow lane or the tracks that have been made by the cars in front of them. And sometimes the lanes get kind of out of whack and cars get closer than they normally do. So you just have to be careful. Take your time. Be slow. It's always a good idea to let somebody know where you're going and let them know when you got there that you've gotten there safe. And plan for the unavoidable. If you run off the road, it's nice to have perhaps a warm blanket in the car or phone to call somebody.
Yeah, that buddy system is so important, and being prepared in your car. Sheriff Blackwood, we appreciate your time this morning. Thank you to you and your deputies for everything you're about to do this weekend.
Well, thank you, and thank you for keeping us informed of what's going on in the community as well. We appreciate that.
Excellent. Laura?
All right. Well, you can certainly count on WRAL to bring you updates on the forecast and preparations no matter where you watch. Stay connected with us on TV, online, and with the WRAL News app anytime. And be sure to turn on those notifications so you can get alerts right to your phone.
Laura, I'm following a breaking news story here in the WRAL Live Center. Former CNN anchor Don Lemon was arrested last night. And this is after a judge actually last week had rejected the DOJ's attempt to try to arrest him in regard to his covering of a protest that happened in St. Paul, Minnesota. That was after the fallout of the shooting of Renee Good. And I want to show you real quick. Let me just go back here real fast. You may have seen this video, at least part of it, from inside that church where people were inside protesting. Well, this is the situation that's unfolded there. And Don Lemon is simply saying that he was reporting as a journalist when he entered that church. We'll try to get more information in terms of what specific charges he's facing here in the WRAL Live Center.
Okay, Chris, thank you. Your time now at 8:41. Threat of cancellations. ICE has kept multiple school districts home for days this week. What we're hearing from parents says the threat for more snow and more school disruptions on the way.
And speaking of which, winter weather car preparations. Now is the time to make sure your car is ready for this weekend's snow. 5 on your side, sharing the steps you can take before that snow moves in.
And let's take a look outdoors now, taking a live look over Sanford as this winter storm warning goes into effect later today. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner explains the snowfall, strong winds, and bitter cold that we're expecting this weekend.
.45 winter storm warning just got upgraded from a watch earlier this morning, and it goes into effect at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Now, we'll likely see the snow starting very lightly on into the evening and then picking up as we get into the early morning hours tomorrow, becoming heavier. Wind is going to be a big issue with this system, too. We're going to talk more about that coming up. We still have widespread 3 to 6 inch snowfall totals across our area, definitely trending with the heavier precipitation a little closer to the coast, but we could still have some pockets of precipitation that are heavier than 6 inches in our viewing area. We'll see just a little bit of light precipitation across the area tonight. Into the day Saturday, it becomes heavier, but in bands, and then it moves out on Sunday. Coming up, we're going to talk more about some dangerous wind chills for the weekend. Ken?
All right, happening now, the WRAL Traffic Center will keep you abreast of what's happening on I-40 westbound coming in from the Garner-Johnston County area. Boy, things have gotten a whole lot better in terms of traffic slowdowns. We had a box truck that was off to the side of the road there in the Garner area, but things are looking much better. Very little to no delays. Short of a 3-minute delay if you're coming in from Wake Forest and US 1 South. Just a 1-minute delay from our folks coming in on I-87 in those southbound lanes out of Knightdale. But we'll keep you updated here in the WRAL Traffic Center.
We are keeping our eye on the situation regarding Lindsey Vonn. It was reported this morning that she crashed after a downhill race in Switzerland. And this is a new image we're seeing this morning showing the team there, a rescue team actually taking her up in a helicopter, trying to get some medical help there. But after this crash, she was seen clutching her knee. And she was actually the third person to crash in the race. And it was called off after that happened. She is preparing for her 5th appearance at the Olympics, but I think the big question is, will she be able to still go given the injury sustained after today's downhill situation?
Hope she recovers quickly. Thank you, Chris. Well, not everyone has the option to stay off the roads during winter weather. During snow events specifically, there are things that you can do to make your drive even safer. 5 on your side, Keely Arthur shares the steps that you should take before hitting the road.
Start by starting your car and its defrosters. Then obviously use a good ice scraper. Water can speed the process, but a caution, make sure it's only lukewarm. If it's too hot, you could crack the glass. As you begin to pour the water, work quickly to remove the ice. You can also buy de-icing spray, but our test found it wasn't very effective on this thick ice. The best option? Prevention. Next time, cover your windows with a towel, sheet, or a piece of cardboard before dew or ice even arrives. Use your wipers to keep it in place. Then, when it's time to go, just pull it off. Now, as for if you end up with ice or snow on your rooftop, use a broom or some lukewarm water to help with that. You do not want to use an ice scraper because it could scratch your paint. Keely Arthur, 5 on your side.
Well, today, Wake County schools on a 2-hour delay. Many of the school districts, as you can see from this map, adjusting their schedules as well. Yesterday was the first day back in the classroom for Wake County students in almost a week. The district says the ice from last weekend's ice storm is causing these disruptions. Parents say they're preparing for the snow this weekend as well.
I can't imagine a world in which we're not going to have multiple days out of school next week.
It is frightening for me, who was just, I've already missed work this week. I'm going to have to miss work next week. If they're out, So I have no idea what we're doing.
And we asked Wake County Public Schools how the district will be preparing for the upcoming snowstorm. A spokesperson says school leadership is monitoring the forecast and conditions right now. And speaking of which, we're in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. And this is definitely going to be a snow event.
It's definitely going to be a snow event, and we'll see measurable snow out of it. Of course, it starts tonight, so we feel confident that we will see at least 3 inches of snow across the area. New this morning, the winter storm warning was upgraded from a watch to a warning, and a cold weather advisory and an extreme cold warning both posted for the weekend. The measurable snow begins tonight, and we'll start to see it adding up during the day tomorrow, and it is going to stick to the roads quickly. If you were planning to be out this evening late, closer to midnight, you might start to run into some slick conditions out there. We take a look at our winter storm warning: heavy snow, gusty winds, and those gusty winds are going to end up bringing us some dangerous wind chills. Widespread totals of 3 to 6 inches. Some of those heavier totals could be closer to the coast, and so that means potentially, say, Rocky Mount or Goldsboro could see some of those heavier totals. But I'll tell you, this is not going to be an even blanket of snow across our area in terms of totals. We're going to have pockets where it's lighter. We're going to have pockets where it's heavier. And where those pockets end up is going to be pretty difficult to forecast ahead of time. As we get through the day today, we're going to see that snow starting to pick up in the northern part of the viewing area, and most likely by the time we get to the evening tonight, early tomorrow morning. This is Saturday at 7 a.m. There's Saturday at 4 p.m. So it's just with us all day tomorrow and finally moves out at around 6 o'clock. Trying to figure out where some of those heavier bands of snow over there with Grant Skinner. He's going to talk about a new word that you may not have heard.
Yeah, deformation zones. We've been talking about this all morning. And what's interesting is the latest forecast model run, the latest high resolution forecast model run, it's kept those heaviest precip amounts towards the coastline, which is kind of that scenario I have set up here with the upper level low back to the south and west. Then downstream of that, you have a surface low. The clouds and precip wrap around that area of low pressure. The heaviest precip just to the northwest of that area of low pressure. High pressure is back to the north and west. Very cold air working its way in. That's what we're seeing, primarily snow across the area. So that heavy precip right here. And then just to the north and west, you have some areas of lighter precip. We also have multiple bands set up, so we could have some heavier precip amounts in other parts of the area. But as of now, again, that latest high resolution forecast model run, Elizabeth, showing that highest precip amount right at the coastline.
And then, potentially, most likely that's where it's going to be. This is another one of the computer models that keeps it kind of right along the I-95 corridor. We'll move ahead and talk about the winds that we'll see over the weekend. We have a cold weather advisory in effect for tomorrow, and that means the wind chill in the single digits. And then for Sunday, even worse, an extreme cold watch where the wind chill values could be as low as 5 or 10 below. So it's going to be dangerously cold out there. I know the kids are going to want to get out and play in the snow. Just make sure they have lots of layers on. So we'll go over the timeline again. Some flurries this afternoon, evening up near the Virginia line. That snow moves in overnight. It is going to make for some messy roads, and sledding should be great. Snowman building may be a little bit trickier. It's going to be a light, fluffy, not really packable type snow. And we'll be watching for power outages because of the winds. We could definitely see some of those. Right now it is 24 degrees. It is cold. We have a northeast wind at 10 miles per hour, so the wind chill's feeling like the teens. Our temperatures will be in the 20s for highs on Saturday and Sunday, and it stays cold at least through the middle of next week.
And before we go to break, here's a look at the winning lottery numbers. We'll get another check on weather and traffic up next.